Hi, kids. What time is it? Why, it's story time! Hey, I am just so excited to be back here with you today. I got some good news the other day. A few days ago, I received an email from Anna, and she tells me that Mike and the rest of the kids are watching this program too. So, hey, I'm gonna put you guys on our roll, okay? And something else has really excited me. I got a text message the other day from Brooklyn. Brooklyn has been watching too. You know, me and Brooklyn, we have these nicknames for each other. I call her Bubbles, and she calls me Grandpa Bubbles. So if you ever hear me referring to somebody as Bubbles, that's Brooklyn out there. Welcome, Brooklyn. Putting you on a roll. Hey, we're going to have a great time today. But before we get started, how was that last program? How did you like Hansel and Gretel? Hey, how many of you have never heard Hansel and Gretel before? Any of you? Most of you have, I'm sure. I thought that was pretty fun. Let's have a little test to see how much of that you remember. First question. Why did the wicked stepmother want to get rid of them? That's right, because there wasn't enough food. Question number 2. What was it that Hansel used the first time to find his way back home? Right, those little white stones he was dropping on the trail. Okay, question number 3. Why was it that it was so difficult for the witch to tell whether or not Hansel was getting fat or not? You remember? It was because she couldn't see good. She couldn't see well. Yeah, you know, probably she wasn't wearing her glasses. That probably would have solved her problems. Which really brings me. Oh, wait a minute. Don't want to get ahead of myself. We haven't called roll yet. Yeah, she wasn't wearing her glasses. Okay, got the roll. You ready? Let me start right here. Kalea? Here? Lauren? Here? Speaking of Lauren, you wear glasses, don't you? Huh? Yeah. Aiden, you here? Yep, Aiden is here. How about JJ? You here? JJ. Now we've added some more people to our roll. Is Jordy here? Jordy's here. Jeremiah's here. Cheech? Talia. Bubbles. Ariel. Juliet. And Audrey. We got everybody? Okay, well, all right, let's get into our story today. Now, you remember last time I told you, I was going to be reading this story. Ava's Spectacular Spectacles. Everybody knows what spectacles are. I know most of you do. But for the rest of you, if you haven't found out for yourself, spectacles are glasses. Now, glasses are a wonderful thing. They're one of the best inventions that humans have come up with. You know, it goes all the way back to the 16th century. That's the years between 1500 and 1600. That guys like Galileo, you know, he's the astronomer, science guy. he was able to take glass lenses and use them to be able to see objects better. The stars and the planets. He saw the craters on the moon. He was the first person to see the moons around Jupiter because he had these lenses that he was able to use to make his eyes focus in on those little tiny objects that were millions of miles away. And then in the, I would say, the 18th century, that's the time between 1700 and 1800, you had guys like Benjamin Franklin, who was able to take two different lenses and put them together in a set of eyeglasses or spectacles and make what are now known as bifocals. Part of the eyeglass was to see far away and part was to see up close. So you see, for hundreds of years, people have been innovating and experimenting with what's called optics, which is the science behind eyeglasses. So you guys that are wearing eyeglasses, you're wearing some pretty high-tech stuff that comes from a lot of history. Anyway, let's read about Ava's spectacular spectacles. Oh, that's cute. The whole inside of the book is full of pictures of eyeglasses. Right. Ava's Spectacular Spectacle. This book is written by Alice Rex and Angela Perini. Now here's a picture of a bunch of kids sitting here in school. Look like the teacher is up at the board. And it says, Ava sat at her desk, gazing at the board. You see that? She's gazing at the board. I presume that's Ava right there, the red hair. Yeah. Look, she looks so lost, so sad. Ava, said Mrs. Cook, where are your glasses today? Ava looked down at her school bag. She hated her glasses. See, she doesn't know what you know. Wow. All these kids look like they're gathered around a table. I imagine this is the teacher here, and it looks like Ava right there. Mrs. Cook picked up a large book and opened it in front of Ava. Okay, this is the large book that she's opened. Here's Ava, here's all the other kids. Here's Mrs. Cook opening the book for Ava. Can you see that? Oh, look at that. Little Red Riding Hood. We talked about Grimm's fairy tale last time. That's one of Grimm's fairy tales. What does it say about Little Red Riding Hood in the book? If only Little Red Riding Hood had put on her glasses the day she went to visit her grandmother, said Mrs. Cook. She would have seen the big teeth and big eyes. Ava looked up. Mrs. Cook turned the pages. You see what value glasses would have had for Little Red Riding Hood? She would have seen those big teeth in that wolf. Look here. Imagine if Hansel and Gretel had worn their glasses when they got lost in the woods. They would have seen the signs pointing them safely home. They wouldn't have had to have those white stones. Ava looked brighter. She's starting to see some value in wearing those glasses. Yeah, Hansel and Gretel wouldn't have gotten lost if they'd put their glasses on. Everybody knows Humpty Dumpty. Everybody knows Humpty Dumpty's sad story. But if he had had his specs on, specs is short for spectacles, and of course, as you know, spectacles means glasses. If he had had his specs on, he would have never fallen off of that wall. Ava nodded and added, if the king's horses and the king's men had worn their glasses, they would have been able to put him back together again. See, now she's getting the idea. And have you heard of Little Bo Peep who lost her sheep? She never lost them at all. With glasses, she would have seen that those woolly faces were all around her. They were right there, but she didn't have her glasses on. And if little Miss Muffet had been wearing her glasses, she would have seen that big spider and used her bug spray. Ava reached into her school bag and pulled out her glasses. There they are. The letters written on the board became clear, and the words made sense. Ava could understand whole sentences. She smiled and began to read. The end. You see, you really need to value those glasses. They're worth a lot. They'll do a lot for you. And look at all those guys that missed out because they weren't wearing their glasses. Okay, that's not going to happen to you. Hey, I love our time together. This is the closest thing I have to like having you all around me, and I look forward to it. And I look forward to the next time, okay? You promise to be here? I'll promise to be here. But in the meantime, you are, and you are, and you are. Did you get all three? I'm proud of you. Bye-bye.